So crypto and environment. First of all, how is the conversation around crypto linked to the environment? Well, it's simple. It's all about the energy consumption. How regular mining can have serious environmental ramifications, crypto mining is also an energy-intensive process. What is mining? How does it work? Well, mining is the process that several other cryptocurrencies use to generate new coins and verify new transactions. How is it done? Through vast decentralized network of computers around the world that verify and secure blockchains, which is the virtual public ledger. In return for contributing their processing power, computers on the network are rewarded with new coins. Verifying the blockchain requires a vast amount of computing power, which is voluntarily contributed by miners. Now imagine it like a race or a competition. Every computer on the network races to be the first to solve a mathematical problem to earn the reward. The winner updates the blockchain ledger with all the newly verified transactions, thereby adding a newly verified block containing all of those transactions to the chain and is granted a predetermined amount of newly minted Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency. So how do you win this race? With the help of massive machines, as I've mentioned. Now these machines consume electricity and leave carbon footprint as we consume them. So how is it impacting the environment? According to the research provided by Cambridge University's Cambridge Bitcoin Electricity Consumption Index, that's CBECI, Bitcoin uses more electricity annually than all of Argentina. According to Digiconomist, one single Bitcoin transaction leaves carbon footprint of around 2 million Visa transactions. This was also a topic of discussion in UN climate change in Glasgow. So is there a solution to this kind of race? Well, this race in technical terms is called proof of work. You work to win. The alternative? Proof of stake. In proof of stake, electricity is replaced as the proving resource with staked capital in the form of locked-up cryptocurrency. You stake your crypto. It is like a voting system. Weightage of your vote depends on the level of stake you have. Validators can vote proportionally to the amount of collateral they have provided. So basically, it's a type of algorithm used by blockchain networks to reach consensus and secure their transactions. In light of this, Ethereum is completely going to shift from proof of work to proof of stake, and according to Ethereum blog, after the merge, energy usage are going to go down by more than 99%. But now, there are some disadvantages as well of proof of stake. Number one is the biggest, which is lack of security. Proof of stake does not require miners to expend energy in order to participate in the consensus process. It is possible for individuals with malicious intent to take control of the network by acquiring a large number of stake tokens. This could lead to security breaches and the theft as well. Second, proof of stake systems are not great at handling large numbers of transactions, which can result in slower transaction speeds. Number three, the essence of blockchain, that is decentralization, can be lost. Smaller nodes can easily be overpowered by larger ones. Larger nodes can easily control the selection of delegates, making it more difficult for smaller nodes to participate in the consensus process. So what eventually is the solution? We'll find out with our guest, but before that, a quick look at some of the projects which claim to be sustainable. Number one, Cardano. It was developed by the co-founder of Ethereum, Charles Hoskinson, and was tested by academics and scientists as the world's first peer-reviewed blockchain. It's also called green cryptocurrency, hence it's in our list. It functions mainly as a digital currency but can also be used for digital contracts, dApps, and other purposes. Cardano uses a proof of stake consensus mechanism where those participating in the currency buy tokens to join the network. Second is Nano. Nano is a decentralized, sustainable, and secure digital payment protocol designed to be accessible and lightweight. It still uses the proof of work consensus mechanism, but Nano has a unique transaction methodology. Nano utilizes the block lattice, a data structure that allows individual accounts to control their own blockchain. This method allows adding blocks quickly without ambiguity and sending them to the network for confirmation. Last, and the third one, is Tron. It's a decentralized platform based on the Tron protocol. According to the white paper, the Tron protocol is one of the largest blockchain-based operating systems that aim to offer blockchain support with high throughput. The role of consensus here is to select the witnesses in the blockchain system. The witnesses verify the transaction data and keep the account in order to broadcast new accounts to other nodes in the network and obtains the approval of the new accounts from other nodes. Any account can apply to become a witness. Every account can vote for witnesses. The top 27 witnesses are called SR, which is super representatives. The votes are counted every 6 hours, so super representatives may also change every 6 hours. So that was our explainer on crypto and environment, and now we'll have our guest also to talk about this, Srijan Bhardwaj, serial entrepreneur, Ajit Khurana, founder of Flexical. We'll begin with you, Mr. Khurana. The biggest risk crypto is posing to environment right now, as per you?
So I think that some of the environmental fears that we are talking about are over-exaggerated because we see only the cost side and not the return side.
Okay.
While surely we cannot be expending any costs on energy or energy wastage, there's no doubt about it. But having said that, I feel that as a lot of renewable energy gets used into the system, as better protocols come in, you listed two of them. I'm a fan of Tron, not the other one. I think that some of this will get addressed.
Sorry, which one are you not fan of?
You want me to name it? So fine, I'm not a fan of Nano, but yeah, I'm a fan of Tron.
We'll probably discuss this in detail also. But then, Mr. Khurana, a lot of experts have also pointed that, other industries, maybe banking, fashion, those are also responsible in polluting the environment. Then why only raise fingers on crypto? Would you agree on that?
I think that not just would I agree. Here is the thing. A moment back, you said that one Bitcoin transaction probably costs as much as a certain large number, I think 200 or 200 million of Visa transactions, etc.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of this is very actually inaccurate calculation. For instance, when you consider the cost of the Bitcoin network, you consider all costs. But when you consider the cost of the Visa network, you are only considering the variable cost. For example, to run the Visa network, you require lots of people, lots of buildings, lots of offices, which are actually part of the full cost of running the Visa network, not just the transaction fee. So I think there's a little bit of apples and oranges going on. Having said that, I do not at all forgive energy wastage because there are people who could use that energy better. But yeah, I think that we have to do an apples to apples comparison to come up with a good ROI based calculation.
Yeah, is what I also wanted to point out, that just because other industries are also polluting the environment doesn't mean that we don't find a solution in the crypto space. Srijan, now proof of stake also has disadvantages, as we also explained in our explainer. If not proof of stake, then what?
I think with time we are going to see different consensus mechanisms coming out. For example, Ajit said like solar energy or renewable energy can be used. That is one aspect of it. But similarly, a lot of people are working on different environmental friendly consensus mechanisms, but most of them are either in the ideation phase or just in the phase where they're going to be working on the testnet. But as of now, I don't see any viable option to proof of stake.
And Srijan, is there any sustainable crypto project that you like or you're impressed with?
Like you said, Cardano is one. Another one that I've seen a lot of use cases for is Ripple. I know people hate Ripple, and then there are people who love Ripple. So most of the banking sector uses the Ripple technology, but not exactly the token. So Ripple is one which I like as a project. Then there is Nano, like you mentioned again. So Nano works on lightweight and a proof of work model, but still does not use much energy. So Nano is another one. Similarly, there is Stellar Lumens, which is another proof of stake based cryptocurrency. That's also a good one if you want to transact.
Right. Mr. Khurana, I know you have actually mentioned already, but are there any projects that you would like to point out other than these three, maybe, or maybe one of these three that we mentioned?
So I can name a few. For example, there is a project called Pulse Chain, which is talking of being like about 100,000 times more technologically superior. But the problem here is that technologically we can make a very green chain. The problem is a little different. The problem is that blockchain has what we call the trilemma. On the one hand, how decentralized is it? On the second hand, how secure is it? And on the third, how fast it is. So what Bitcoin has focused on is that it has sacrificed on the speed and tried to get the other two. Tron, by the way, has sacrificed on decentralization to get the other two, including energy efficiency. So please keep in mind, you're always making some sacrifice. And while if we only evaluate it on one of those three parameters, everything beats Bitcoin. But what if decentralization comes in? Bitcoin beats everything. So it is, I think the story is still getting started.
Okay, so on one hand we say that proof of stake is not absolutely foolproof, and on the other hand that's the solution for a sustainable system. What can be done or what innovations can be brought in proof of stake system so that it's sustainable and secure as well? Mr. Khurana.
So very difficult to answer that, because the proof of stake in the way Ethereum is trying to define it has been defined by several others in the past. Polygon, which is actually a scaling solution, has a proof of stake mechanism to begin with. You don't set up huge mining architecture. I think that if we use some sort of segregation system, you could call it sharding, if to use a tribally technical term, or you could use it as subnet, parachain, sidechain. There are various other architectures. I think there are a lot of these can create both proof of chain as well as proof of works architecture, which are more environmentally friendly, still being fast.
Okay, thank you so very much, both of you, for this discussion.